When the draw was made around 11 o'clock this morning for Players' Championship 6 here at Robin Park Tennis Centre in Wigan, this was always a possibility. A third round clash, a board final between the world number one Michael van Gerwen and the two-time world champion Gary Anderson. Anderson did win the very first one of these events this year, won it in fine style as well, announcing that he was back. He was desperately trying to get back to full form and fitness after 2019, where he missed so many months because of injury. Since then, he's played some good stuff, but it's been inconsistent. As for MVG, well, he is yet to win a title in 2020, and if he doesn't win here today, then he won't have won one in the first 2 months of the year. That is something that has not happened for a good few years. The new darts that MVG is using, taking a little bit of time to get used to. Gary Anderson still has work to do to get back to his best. But there is absolutely no question that we have two of the finest darts players ever to compete in this sport clashing in round 3 at this leisure centre in Wigan today. Welcome to our viewers on Facebook. We're going to give you a little taste of what Pro Tour action is like. 30 of these Players' Championships take place over the course of the year, all over Europe. Places like Barnsley and Wigan, but also Hildesheim in Germany. We'll be going to Leeuwarden in the Netherlands.
Bullseye.
Dublin in Ireland just before the World Grand Prix.
Bullseye.
128 players came here today. These two are the biggest names. There is no question that Peter Wright has been the standout performer of 2020 so far. You can make a very good case that Peter Wright is the best player on the planet right now. But if you are writing off that man in green, if you are writing off the man stood at the back of the booth there, Gary Anderson,
25.
You are mad. It is only a matter of time before these two
25.
get back to somewhere near their best. And even when they're not at their very best, they're still capable of winning any title in the sport. First to 6 legs.
25.
The winner goes through to the last 16. We know that it'll be a Spaniard they face. It'll be either Cristo Reyes, the Spanish number 1, or Jesus Nogueira, a player who stepped up to the tour for the first time this year after performing well on the second-tier system, the Challenge Tour last year. But off we go. Mighty Mike and the Flying Scotsman
96.
for a place in the last 16. £10,000 to the winner of this tournament today. It was £10,000 won by Peter Wright yesterday in that record-breaking day.
60.
Wright averaged 106 over the course of 7 games yesterday. It was astonishing. But we saw more 100 averages than in any of these Pro Tour events since we've had the Dart Connect system introduced, where you can monitor every single visit of every single game.
57.
We saw a higher tournament overall average than we've seen before. It was spectacular. And that's despite the fact that MVG went out
57.
quite early to Christian Bunser, the young German. And Gary Anderson didn't reach the final stages either. He was knocked out at this stage, the board final, by Ryan Joyce.
$140.
Now, MVG leaves himself on a 2-darter after 12.
60.
No pressure from the Flying Scotsman. Double top.
Game shot.
Michael van Gerwen making a 15-darter look like child's play. If you are unfamiliar with the Dart Connect system, it is dead easy. It's dead free.
91.
Dead free? Completely free. tv.dartconnect.com will not only show you all the stats in this game, it will show you every single game
80.
played in Wigan today as they are happening. Right now, I can tell you that we have our first player through to the last 16, and the Diamond Ian White is threatening to do what Peter Wright did yesterday. Ian White in his second round game averaged almost 114. In his third round game, he's won 6-1 against Gary Blades, a new tour card holder, and averaged 109.
$80. 140. 135.
Michael van Gerwen nearly producing the horse. 3 big trebles and 3 separate segments of the board.
100.
Gary Anderson leaves 90. A decent setup shot here from MVG. Could help him strike an early blow against the throw.
134.
And it is a decent setup shot. Pressure. That leaves the bull.
65.
And it is not found by Gary Anderson. Van Gerwen should at least get 1 at the outer ring, possibly 2. It is only going to be 1. It's double top again.
52.
This one doesn't find its mark. Well, Anderson, he goes all kinds of routes for this. He's going 9 for double 8 this time.
Game shot.
And it works for him. You've seen him go 1 for double 12, 17 for double 4, but look, it worked. He's got a leg on the board. Not without a bit of a scare. So 3 games into today, this is one of the things that the Dart Connect system will give you. I can give you Ian White's running average for the day.
137.
And after averaging 105.5, 113.8, and then 109 exactly, he is averaging 109.68.
91.
The diamond in sparkling form in Wigan today.
24.
That means that Ian White is through to the last 16, where he'll face either Jermaine Wattermainer or Vincent van der Meer.
140.
Wattermainer, the number 18 seed, and of course the World Cup of Darts partner of Michael van Gerwen for the Netherlands last year. That spot is up for grabs.
94.
This year, I believe that Jeffrey de Zwaan is in pole position for it.
100.
World Cup champions, of course, for Scotland, Gary Anderson and Peter Wright. Looked a good team last year. Looks even better now, doesn't it?
134.
Now the Flying Scotsman, a chance to break MVG's throw. The biggest checkout in the game is not going to go.
134.
But he is going to leave himself on a double. It's double top again. 1 hit, 1 miss.
Game shot.
And another hit for Michael van Gerwen. 99 average for MVG. He himself has been playing very solid stuff so far today. He's rocking a 101
57.
tournament average following his first couple of games. And indeed, he's averaging close to 100 so far this year, but it has not been enough for him to pick up a title. He obviously played in the World Championship final on New Year's Day, lost to Peter Wright.
180.
Made a final of one of these events, but lost out to Ryan Searle, a first-time winner.
140. 100.
Settled down, these two now, haven't they? They're just in a rhythm, in the groove. And that's when
57.
phenomenal things can happen. Enjoy playing each other, these two. Nice rhythm. There's no faffing around. They just get on and throw their darts.
60.
And when they get into that groove, into that rhythm, that's when they can play their best stuff. We're seeing these two average 110, the pair of them, in the wind outside in Dubai.
77.
Double 12 is missed by the Flying Scotsman. It's Michael van Gerwen's turn to see if he can break the throw. Double 12, same target.
92. Game shot.
Double 6 is found by Gary Anderson. Race to 6, 2 apiece, 4 consecutive holds of throw. Anderson only averaging in the low 90s at the minute.
85.
But we also know that he could just rattle off 2 or 3, 11, 12 darters on the spin
137.
and take the game away from anyone. Typically, Van Gerwen wins 2 out of
180.
3 of their encounters. He's He's won 41 times compared to Gary Anderson's 18 in their head-to-head contest. Couple of draws in there as well. Look at this. Now we got a game of darts. It's been a long while
58.
since Anderson tasted victory against MVG, though. Only played once this year so far. MVG won that one 6-3.
60.
3 games last year at the Champions League, the New Zealand Masters, the Melbourne Masters, both World Series events. MVG was victorious.
58.
On a winning streak, in fact, of 6 games. Got to go back to the Grand Slam 2018 for when Gary last beat him. Treble 18. Not there.
92.
It's another missed opportunity to break. It might need something like that, a 10+ finish.
100.
And for the first time on his own throw, MVG misses double top. This is the chance.
Game shot.
And it's taken. A 13-dart leg. And the Flying Scotsman moves into the lead for the first time in this one. You might wonder why these two are meeting so early in a tournament. Well, Michael van Gerwen is the top seed, but Gary Anderson is unseeded.
134.
These Players' Championship events, they have 32 seeds, and it's determined by how much money you've won in events like this and on the Euro Tour, the Pro Tour events, over the last 12 months. Well, Gary Anderson missed so much of last year, and he doesn't play the Euro Tour anyway.
96.
That he's just not in that top 32 list. Not the minute, anyway. He's committed to playing as much as he can
60.
over the next few months, and he is only going to go one way, and that is up. But right now, he's the most dangerous of dangerous floaters in these draws. And it means it can throw up. I mean, in theory, you could see MVG versus Gary Anderson in round 1.
120.
Rejected from the board. However, he's still on the Shanghai finish. That's not enough for MVG, who's looking at 2 treble 19s to leave double 12. The world #1 missed tops for a Shanghai finish in the last leg to hold his throw. It is the same equation here for Gary Anderson. Can he find the 60? No, he can't.
100.
Well, it's tit for tat at the minute.
Game shot.
Oh, I didn't see many problems with the new darts there for Michael van Gerwen. And you only have to ask Rob Cross. Rob Cross trialled some new darts a couple of weeks ago. Did not play well and has put them to one side. But if you talk to him, he says, I know these are the darts that I need. I know it's going to help me take my game to another level. But
100.
it's about confidence until you start doing the things that you were doing with your old darts, firing in those enormous averages in the 100 and teens, winning things, winning titles, winning big
79.
games under pressure. Until you've done that, you don't have the confidence, you don't quite have the faith that you do in your old
93.
kit. Van Gerwen, it's going to take a little bit of time.
180.
But he is not playing poorly, not by any stretch of the imagination. Still right up there in every metric that there is.
134.
Averages, 180s, games won. But he hasn't got the title wins yet. Double 16.
70.
You can afford to miss those. He will be back.
92.
Can tell you that Cristo Reyes has won that all-Spanish battle with Jesus Nogueira. It means that Reyes is the man that will face the winner of this contest in the last 16 here in Wigan today.
Game shot.
And Michael van Gerwen has moved within a couple of legs of a clash with Reyes for a place in the quarterfinals.
97.
Ian White already there, of course, with these monstrous averages he's been chucking all day. Jermaine Watermaner has won the all-Dutch clash
93.
with Vincent van der Meer. And Jamie Hughes, Jozza, a winner on the European Tour last year. Won the Czech Darts Open in Prague, played
100.
magnificently. The Euro Tour, of course, gets going next weekend. It'll be the opening one of 13 events from Hasselt
58.
in Belgium. That's all on PDC TV. 3 days of action for each Euro Tour event. That's 39 days of darts you got there, as well as the 30 Players Championship events.
39.
Of which this is number 6. The culmination of today will be a fifth of the way through the Players' Championship series, and it's all gearing up to the Players'
95.
Championship finals in Minehead, the last big tournament on telly before Christmas and the World Championship. Anderson starting on the 19s to try and leave 170, or maybe
95.
Well, it is 170. .170, of course, the winning shot from
99.
yesterday's final. Peter Wright taking it out to win 8-6 against Gerwen Price in a final where they both averaged under 9. But we won't see it here.
134.
Again, Anderson gets the second prize of leaving himself on a double.
.54. Game shot.
Good switch over to the double 9 for Anderson. It is effectively a best of 3 game between 2 of the very
96.
greatest this sport has seen. Van Gerwen has the advantage of throwing first. There is only 1 point difference in the averages, both around the 96-97 mark.
91.
Perhaps symptomatic of them still being brilliant without being their best. This is kind of the typical
59.
averages they've been putting in the opening few weeks of this year. Van Gerwen has been very good in the Premier League, although suffered his first defeat on Thursday in Cardiff. He will look
60.
to make amends this Thursday in Dublin for week 4.
57.
Opportunity for Anderson. He needs to find a breaker throw. This is a chance. Oh, and it's a savage deflection.
78.
But probably wasn't destined for the 60 anyway, just looking at which bit of the dart it deflected off. And Van
139.
Gerwen, in typical fashion, punishes mercilessly. Good look at ball.
100.
Well, if he looks at ball, he leaves 167. He's gambled to try and find the ton 40, doesn't get it, and Van Gerwen knows he's got 2 visits to see off the 150.
126.
Yeah, and a raise of the eyebrows. Gary Anderson, now he's got that second treble that he needed.
125.
That's a lazy dart that misses the big number, but it may be irrelevant. Oh, that's a long way off. Oh my word, last dart in hand, and Mighty Mike just gets away with that one. A shocker of a first dart. The second one looked too close, if anything. Might have been
125.
more awkward to find the double 6 from there. But he's got it. Looking to extend this
96.
winning run against Gary Anderson to an incredible 7 games on the spin, dating back to November 2018. That was the last
83.
time that Anderson registered a victory over Michael Van Gerwen. Yes, there was a number of months where he was out injured. But it's still one heck of a record.
140.
I think Van Gerwen still believes that a fully
78.
fit and in-form Gary Anderson is his biggest challenger. But he might have to alter that assessment with the way that Peter Wright is
133.
currently playing. Yesterday's champion, the world champion and the Masters champion this year, of course, Peter Wright.
105.
Great last dart from Gary Anderson, leaves himself a 1 treble finish. Van Gerwen, this is his favourite finish in the game. Can he find the bullseye to close this out and win it 6-4? Oh my
107.
word, fractions. A match dart missed, and are we going the distance? Could stay there. Does stay there for double 15.
80.
And the chance eludes him. Mighty Mike to wrap it up. A
Game shot
superb
in the match.
7 wins on the spin for Michael Van Gerwen against Gary Anderson. It is still Quite a road ahead for the Flying Scotsman to get back to top 4. Mighty Mike, not at his very best, but he doesn't need to be. He's that good. The world number 1 into the last 16. It'll be the Spanish number 1, Cristo Reyes, that MVG goes up against next as he looks to work his way through to the quarterfinals and ultimately pick up his first title of 2020.